Today I'm going to take my time in explaining something that is rarely mentioned amongst people today. It's a problem that seems to evade any sort of resolution in the 21st century. And the title of this thesis is going to be called the Peter Pan syndrome. Peter Pan is nothing more than the adolescent's behavior in adult men. And that adolescent behavior seems to even spread to women as well. So basically, everyone should know the story of Peter Pan. It was the boy that never grew up. And coincidentally, or funnily enough, the majority of people grow old but they never grow up. So we have a lot of men in our society, me being one of them, growing up in the era of television advertisements in the 80s, 90s, an ideological world as we all know it. So the idea of growing up at a certain stage, nursery, primary, secondary, college, university, boyfriend, girlfriend, wife, house, child, etc. Ideological thought process. It's something that a lot of people hold dear in their life. And when they're young, they're never told that these chain of events don't happen as it's said in the book. It doesn't happen literally. One can come before another. But because people are not really geared and are not really taught to expect the unexpected, something happens that throws their life down a spiral of pure calamity, pure calamitous events. And that is problematic for a lot of people. So as a man growing up, we are subjected to seeing the portrayal of men on television. An archetype, a strong man, an intelligent man, a conscientious man, a noble man, a just man. But what happens over time is that when you grow up and when you get to the ripe old age of maturity or majority, as the law will put it, the right old age of 17, 18, where you're supposed to start doing things as a man and start being a productive member of society, taking more responsibility, you find out that being 20, there's no great difference between that and 21. Being a single party animal and getting married, you don't suddenly start developing morals that just come out from thin air. But the expectation that something will change greatly is what is basically thwarting or stagnating our population as a whole. So a man, after going to college, is familiarized himself with women, familiarized himself with alcohol, the average man. Has sexual relationship with this woman, that woman, everything is fun. In the back of his mind, he's gonna get out of this mode because this is just college days and possibly university days, but then you meet a woman that's supposed to be your lifelong partner. If you were lucky, you might have had that in secondary school and you have a lifelong partner. Number one, people don't tell you that after being with someone for more than 2 minutes, you start having something called cabin fever. You start getting on edge because someone is too close in proximity to you. This is not told to the average man or told to the average woman. So you're going out, yeah, you're going to do this, you're going to do that. I'm just doing this for now. When I get married, everything will change. Spending 2 minutes in someone's company is a walk in the park in comparison to a lifetime of being with one individual. Especially when a lot of men believe that women, as perfect as they are, don't fart, don't use a toilet, don't pick their nose, don't stick their hands up their ass when they're at home in their pajamas, don't take baths every single day. Men believe that women are perfect creatures, that the sun shines out of their backside, when this is not true. So what happens is the culmination of leaving home where mama used to do everything for you. Your clothes are pressed. Your food is made. Mama always loves you. Your old man's a jealous bastard majority of the time, but your mama always loves you. I mean, your old man is so jealous that he does not tell you what's going to happen to you in the future, waiting for the day that you give him a call and go, Dad, my wife is acting strange, waiting for that day, rubbing his hands like a miser, waiting for that day for you to give him a phone call to break the sad news of your torment to him so he can laugh and laugh and laugh. What a poor excuse for a father. He's waiting for that day. That's how much of a hater your dad is. That's how much of a hater a lot of men are. It's man on man hatred, it's man on man violence. But anyway, so your mum does everything for you. Then you get into the house with your missus, your girlfriend. Then you find out tampons, makeup with a face mask. He's always masquerades before dawn. Tampons everywhere. Dirty underwear. Not cleaning the house properly. Not doing the ironing, her ironing. She doesn't really know how to cook. She doesn't really know how to conversate past EastEnders and neighbours or desperate housewives. There's so many things she doesn't even take in consideration. She doesn't think that you might be tired and don't want sex all the time. She doesn't know how hard it is to have an erection and keep that shit going for more than 25 minutes. It's many things that women don't quite understand or just fail not to realize it because, everything is really geared to support them because, they're always suffering. So the man gets into this situation and finds out that even though that he's married, he still has some girls from back in the day that have unfinished business to sort out. He figures out that even though he's married, he still has the same urges that he did before he got married. But wait a minute, I thought something will miraculously change from your days of being a single male to when you're getting married. Lo and behold, nothing's changed at all. Nothing has changed at all. The anticipation of what will happen was the thing that was making you think that something miraculously will change. But nothing actually ever changes. It's still the same. You still have the same day-to-day struggles. You still have the same mind frame from yesterday. If you've kept the same mind frame for 20 years, what makes you think at a click of a finger something will change the next day? But yet, this rhyme and reason evades the majority of people. So the men start being with their wives. They're not having as much sex as they used to. I remember when I was dating several women at one time. I had a conversation with one of my close friends. He said to me, mate, you're having more sex than I am. I'm basically a married man. I go, of course I expect to have more sex than you. I'm with more women for one. And number two, just because you're cooped up in a house with a woman doesn't mean that every day you're going to want to have sex with her. Doesn't mean that she's going to want to have sex with you. You've got work. You've got this to do. You've got that to do. Not enough times in the day. I understand this because I studied many people when I was younger. I studied my elders when I was younger. Majority of these men were haters. They never told you anything. You had to fill in the gaps yourself. So the man is living with the woman. He's having to live a double life. It's a double life he's living. It has to be a double life. Because he can't stay cooped up in the house listening to this woman regurgitate the nonsensical standpoint of how she feels. Not what the facts are, but how she feels. So what does this guy do? He starts participating in drinking. He starts participating in watching football. Anything to escape the dreary, gloomy conversation that he has with the woman that he's supposed to love. We can see the contradiction right there. What does this man do? He drinks, he watches football, he tries to have a boys' night. I mean, boys' night? You're meant to be a man. This is extended years of adolescence. It's extended to when you're in your 30s. The man sits back, licking his wounds and thinking, what have I done? I thought I was making the right decision. Now I'm 35. My fanny count is going down. I feel that I'm not a man anymore. I feel that my wife's she-ness is overpowering my penis. I feel spiritually dead. My libido's gone. I'm dictated to by my wife. I'm dictated to by society. I'm dictated to by the notions of me doing the right thing. I must still have it in me, mustn't I? I can't be past it already. I still feel like I'm 21. I still feel like I'm Peter Pan. And I've got a lot of Tinkerbells that want to tinkle around my John Thomas. Wendy is boring. I don't want to be eating Wendy's burgers for the rest of my life. I want to have a little fairy tale play with the Tinkerbells of this world, he says. And plus the television tells me I can have my cake and eat it. The television must be right. Because society told me I should get married. That's the right thing to do. Society must be right. They must be right. But right now, I feel so wrong feeling that I want to be playing with the Tinkerbells. The Peter Pan syndrome is real. It's 101% real. Men that I thought were pillars of society, I found out they were having mistresses left, right and centre. But the man that has always had a choice all his life, that's always had to choose from different hors d'oeuvres, from different finger food, having an entree, a 3-course meal. This man can't then be subjected to have only one meal a day for the rest of his life. If you're used to shrimp and lobster and caviar, how then could you tolerate mutton lamb to supplement all the pleasures in your life? Where are the passions in just eating mutton lamb day in, day out? So this is why you will have men at 30s, 40s, 50s believing they can still be up a 21-year-old, have sex with 20 women, especially when these men are healthy, handsome, intelligent men. Compare it with this. It's the feminine nature in a masculine body. A woman goes into a shop. So many shoes that she loves. She doesn't know which one to choose. She buys one. She gets home. She has buyer's remorse. I should have gone for that other one. She says, do you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go back in there next week. No, I'm going to go back right now and buy all of them. I want to have all of them. I want the choice. That is the same feminine energy in a man where he sees beautiful women of all different shapes, textures, and he wants to be able to appreciate them, but castrates himself because he feels doing such a thing is going to let himself down. So what he does is he subjects himself by substituting those animalistic tendencies by going out to the pub, neglecting his wife, neglecting his children, trying to make money, trying to make up for the deficit. I can't make it up here, I've got to make it up there. All because he doesn't realize the effects of the Peter Pan syndrome and how that impacts his social, emotional and economical life.